Hi dear audience, hope you would be fine. In this short video, we would be discussing on sonnet by John Milton on his blindness. Actually, John Milton is very good in poetry, and particularly his poetry is of the interest that it more or less covers his own personal life. And it is very difficult for a poet that to combine his personal life in his artistic representation. It becomes difficult for a poet. But here John Milton makes our portrays his personal grievances, personal uh, reactions, personal some sort of grudges as well, and make them as the uh, universal one. For example, uh, John Milton himself was against the king of the time, but how he has represented that himself in the character of Saturn against the God, uh, and God is again the symbol or that symbol of the king. So it becomes very artistic. So on his blindness is a poem which is more relevant. We see a lot of resemblances. We have a lot of lessons from his poem, particularly the lesson of patience. The theme of patience is the very dominant, and the chaos, the faith on the God, that is the major theme. In this poem, on his blindness, Milton reflects on his faith that he is turning blind. At the age of 52, he was turned completely blind. So he reflects his faith on the God as he was losing the sight. The poem is a sonnet. Sonnet means the poem which has a 14 lines poem is called a sonnet. It is divided into the sixth part of the sixth and the octave, and in the first octave poems, the problem is represented. Means here in this problem on his blindness is that he is turning blind, and with that he becomes frustrated, and he fears that whether God has denied of his light at the time of the start, or what was the reason, or he has been serving the cause of the God when he was having the eyes, and how he would be serving the cause of God when he would turn blind. So with these questions he starts the poem. The poem reads like that: when I consider how my light is spent, means the dominant theme, the dominant understanding of the poet is the loss of his light vision, means he lost his sight. Or before my days in the dark, word and wide, he is at the turning edge of going into the blind, and he considers that how my light has been spent. Then definitely you realize the importance of any blessing when you lose it. So Milton ponders and considers his past, and even at this time we feel the value of that losing uh, blessing, that gift more uh, consciously, as we have never been conscious to that gift earlier. So Milton is naturally, uh, he doubles the value of his light, and it is a question, as it is a lesson for us as well, that we those who have sight, we should be very much grateful to the God, and we should be very much responsible in its use as well. So, and that one half talent which is death to hide, logged with me shoeless. He says that God basically blesses every individual with a lot of talents. Talents means here the talent refers to the sense of light. And only death can snatch such talents which are provided by the God. For example, we have a gift of sight, we have a gift of taste, we have gift of knowledge. All these are lifelong gifts, and only death can snatch. But here it is very interesting situation with the Milton, that he loses his that gift uh, at the half of his life. So that death has not reached, but he has to, and he is bound to lose that gift of the sight. So this makes the poet frustrated, means not frustrated in the sense, in that sense, but frustrated in the sense that he asks, what has happened me? In the sense of shock. Sense of shock is more better than the sense of frustration, because still he is thankful to the God, still he is faithful to the God, and still he has a faith on the God that if, even this gift has not been given to him by the God, he cannot do anything. God is omnipotent. So, but he's in the sense of shock that why the God has taken this talent, taken this gift from me during the middle of my age. So he, at one point, some critics says that he thought that might be possible that God is angry with him. Therefore, he has taken back his gift. So he says that, and my soul more bent to serve with my maker. Maker means God. He says that he ponders that why God has taken back this his gift back, while at this time of a man becomes more serviceable to the God. For example, if Milton got blind at the age of 52, so at the age of 52 is such an age when uh, even an atheist turn towards God. Even an atheist start believing on something, that there is something. Uh, I'm not claiming that every atheist turns to the God, but somewhere when the energy of the body and man sees that he's dragging more close to the death, then somehow he starts believing on some supernatural thing, God, whatsoever it might be. So the soul is sent to the maker. Soul is sent. Soul is bent to move to its origin. So Milton claims that my soul is more bent to serve the God, and at the time of service I have been taken aback. My gift of the light, and present my true account, lest he returning chide. And at the spot a question just sprang out from his mind, and he says that does God exact day labor denied a light denied? This is the some sort of confusing question. It is more like the fate. It refers to the sense of the fate that might be that God has given. For example, every man is expected to live a life of 60, 70, or 80 years. But if someone is uh, uh, died at the age of 30, at the age of 20, this is even the death at this time is natural. But it is not expected from the God to take at the age of 20 or the 30. So he says that as we as the Muslims and even the Christians believe that the life spectrum of every individual is measured by the God even at the time of one's birth, means we are with a determined time period of our life. This is the fatalist approach. So he thinks that might at the time of God, when God was creating my light, when God was creating myself, even it might be possible that he has denied my this light at this age. It means that at the age of 52 I would be turning as blind. So I fondly ask the questions, but the patience to prevent that murmur soon replies. Then an inner voice from himself comes out with this, that means be patient. Don't be disappointed, don't be frustrated, have a trust on God. This is some sort of a relieving question. Relief, it's comforting question. What replies come means, as he says that it is my time, it is my best time to serve the God. Here is the denial of this question, that God does not need either man's works, or he does not demand the returning back of his gifts. Means we have five senses. Even these five senses are, if we consider that these five senses are the gift, so by these gifts we are moving around our life. Even if any of the we are deprived any of the one sense or the gift, then we may realize that how much it has been important. So an inner voice replied that God is omnipotent. He does not need the man's works. He can exist himself as well without the labor of the man. And the second question, which that replies, the inner voice replies, that God has never asked the reward of his these gifts. And then he says that who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him the best. Means even those persons who have been gifted with limited some sort of the faculties, even they serve him the best. Here is the question. Uh, there is a some sort of proverb of Rumi, that on one time he was going on a voyage, and he was not having his shoes in his feet, and he was complaining God that, oh God, you have done wrong to me, you have not given me such resources that I may get my shoe. Suddenly he saw a man who was without feet, and he start repenting, oh God, thank God you have given me feet. This man is without feet, though I am without shoes, but he is without feet. So uh, in the world, for example, we are the blessed one, but we never realize the importance of our these gifts. And only those who are given the least gifts, they can recognize the value of the other gifts from which they are deprived. So here is also the question, and an intention of the John Milton, that we should be more thankful to the God for the gifts what he has given to us. So he says that even the men with the least resources and the gifts from the God, they serves him the best. And then uh, he says that the God, his state is kingly. Means king is not concerned with the petty things, that who is doing the things in his favor or who is not doing things. Means the king is God is kingly, and the thousands as his biding speeds in a lot of angels and other creatures are serving his cause. And then he says that even those uh, there are some countless people who are subject to God, and they are in the ocean, they are in over the other lands, and one more thing he which makes clear to the readers, that they also serve who only stand and wait. Uh, it refers to the both senses that, O Milton, if you cannot serve through the light, there are some other ways through which you can serve. So, to the matter of service, for example, Milton was considering that by the sense of light and by the gift of sight, I would serve the cause of the God through my writings. But even God pacifies him that, oh Milton, if you cannot serve in this way, there are some other ways you can serve me. But keep in mind that God is not bound to the service of the man, and even including your service. Means, for example, if you say, it's said that God wanted to see the This universe is the Brighton. So he created Einstein, but he has created the Newton as well. If there has not been the Einstein, there would have been the Newton, and he has created many other great brains as well. So it never means that word cannot move without Einstein. So Einstein, in spite of his capabilities, this the word Einstein I am using as a referring of my example, but there have been a lot of other peoples who have been great than the Milton as well. So this inner voice basically comforts the Milton that you can serve to the God. Even those who stand and serve, those who stand and wait, they also serve. So it has multiple themes. The themes of loss and the human frailty is the theme, and some biblical authorities as well, means the god god has light, and God has given the light, and to whom the God has bestowed, he has given them the light. And then the duty of the God is that man has to serve to the God. And then the grace of the humanity and the grace of the God, omnipotence of the God, omnipresence of the gods, all these are the major themes. But this poem is very interesting, uh, that man becomes too much short tempered and start calculating even calculations with the God. But God is omnipotent, omnipresent. He does not need. Basically, these are the men who need the God. It's not the God who needs the men. This is the central question, or the central statement in this sonnet. I think everything is clear. If you have any question, you can ask me. I would be there to answer your questions. Thank you very much.